G'day everyone, welcome back to this week's Fishing Report, where every cast is an adventure. Whether you're a seasoned angler or looking just to get into fishing, the Fishing Report is going to help you understand where to go fishing this weekend. As always, this episode is sponsored by Seven Seas Apparel. Don't forget to use code REALFISHING10 to save yourself anything Seven Seas Apparel. Let's get right into what's been biting around Sydney. And over the last week, there's been quite a few bream and flathead being caught. Even though the conditions haven't been great, we had a lot of wind and a really strong southerly. A few people managed to go out when the conditions were nice and be able to bag out onto flathead and also catch a few really nice bream, particularly around the weed beds. In Botany Bay is the main areas. Places like Towra, La Perouse and the flats around Captain Cook Bridge have been producing some nice fish. Along with that, with the rain that we've had, the mulloway have also been on the chew. A few people headed out after the rainy conditions in small windows around a tide change and found a few nice mulloway. Nothing in the metre category, but still a few really nice fish. That's what's been biting around Sydney over the last week. Let's get into where to go this weekend. Now, if we look at the morning and over the weekend as a whole, we have quite a typical summer's weekend. We have a very low northerly breeze in the morning, pushing to that more stronger 25-30 kilometre an hour, midday to late afternoon summer day with the northeast wind blowing quite hard. So the plan for the morning, both Saturday and Sunday, we'll have two plans. On Saturday, what I would be doing is fishing the top of that tide along the flats, using surface lures or anchoring up and using nippers, targeting bream, flathead and whiting on that surface flat sort of style fishing in the early morning. Once the tide starts to run out, I'd be heading to those edges and targeting my flathead using soft plastics. You can drift around and find them with nippers using bait, but this tide is going to be perfect to be using soft plastics, finding a nice drop off a sand flat and targeting your flathead for the morning. On Sunday morning, the wind and the swell are down. So if we're going to head out offshore, there's been some nice kingfish over the last month as well, and a few snapper about as well. So if you're going to head out offshore, fish that tide change in the morning. It should be really, really good for our snapper and our kingfish. Places like the cliffs between the Port Hacking and Botany Bay, and also the cliffs south of the Port Hacking produce our kingfish. Places like Mary's Reef, and there's a little reef just outside Botany Bay, and Coogee as well, that produce some nice quality snapper this time of year. Looking into the afternoon, and again, like I said before, the northeast wind for both afternoons seem to be up. So what I would be doing is heading to our northeast corners and fishing that run-in tide. Now, places like the Runways are really good for that. Yarra Bay is also really good. If we look up into the harbour, the Spit Bridge area is really nice to be protected out of that as well if you want to target your kingfish on the run-in tide. And then if we look down south to our Port Hacking region, places like Northwest Arm and Southwest Arm also are really good to be protected out of that northeast wind. So that's what's been biting around Sydney and where to go fishing this weekend. Don't forget to tune in every week for the Fishing Report.